Every World Cup has three kinds of teams people remember. There's the champion, there's the runner-up, and there's the underdog story. The Costa Ricas, the Moroccos that came out of nowhere and made the world stop for a few weeks. But there's a fourth group, and nobody really talks about it. These are the teams that were genuinely good, not surprises, not Cinderellas. Real, serious sides, with star players, with deep squads, with brilliant tournament runs. Teams that finished third, fourth, sometimes deep in the quarterfinals. And then somehow, they're not really remembered that much. So today we're going through every single one of them, from 1970 all the way to 2022. The most underrated team of every World Cup. Mexico 1970. The 1970 World Cup is the one everyone agrees on. Brazil with Pelé, Jairzinho, Tostão, Gerson, possibly the greatest team ever assembled. Champions, untouchable, iconic. And because Brazil is so iconic, every other team that year gets forgotten, especially Peru. This Peru side was special. Coached by the Brazilian legend Didi, they had Rubinhos in goal, Champataz anchoring the back, Chalin Mifflin running the midfield, Sotil floating between the lines, and a front three of Gallardo, Leon, and Teofilo Cubillas, the greatest Peruvian player of all time. In that tournament, in the group stage, they came back from 2-0 down to beat Bulgaria 3-2. Then they thrashed Morocco 3-0. They lost to West Germany but still scored on Gerd Miller's side. Then in the quarterfinals, they ran into Brazil and went down 4-2, but not before scoring twice on the eventual champions. Cubillas finished the tournament with 5 goals. Well, Peru never had a generation this good before. They've never had one this good since. But because that Brazil was that Brazil, nobody really remembers them. And if you're enjoying the video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps a lot. I'm Alex and welcome to Football Interest. Next, Germany 1974. West Germany lifting the trophy at home. The Cruyff Netherlands inventing total football. That's the story everyone tells. But the team that quietly finished third that summer was Poland. And almost nobody talks about how genuinely good they were. This was Kazimierz Górski's side. Tomaszewski in goal, the keeper who'd humiliated England a year earlier in qualifying. Gorgon and Żmuda at the back. Dana running the midfield. Up front, Sarmak, Bagosha, and the great Grzegorz Lato. They won every group game. 3-2 against Argentina. 7-0 against Haiti. 2-1 against Italy, knocking the 1970 finalists straight out of the tournament. So, in the second group stage, they beat Sweden 1-0 and Yugoslavia 2-1. Then came the famous water game against West Germany. The field flooded, the referee almost called it off, and Gerd Müller scored the only goal. Poland lost 1-0 and missed the final. In the third place match, they beat Brazil 1-0. The reigning world champions. Lato scored again. A historic match for Poland football. 6 wins in 7 games. 16 goals scored. Lato finished as the top scorer of the entire World Cup. And outside Poland, only real football addicts remember that team. In the next World Cup, Poland did it again in 1978. 4 years later in Argentina, basically the same Poland team showed up. Tomaszewski, Żmuda, Dana, Sarmak, Lato. And alongside them, a young kid breaking into the side, Boniek, who'd go on to become one of the great Polish footballers in his own right. In the group stage, they drew 0-0 with the defending champions Germany in the opener, beat Tunisia 1-0, then beat Mexico 3-1 with goals from Boniek, Dana, and Sarmak. They finished first in the group, ahead of Germany, for the second tournament in a row. The second group stage was a death group. Argentina, Brazil, Peru. They lost 2-0 to the hosts, Mario Kempes scoring both, Dana missing a critical penalty. They beat Peru 1-0, but lost 3-1 to Brazil with Lato scoring their only goal. It was the same generation with the same talent. They just got stuck in the wrong group at the wrong time. And what makes this campaign so impressive is the bigger picture. 2 World Cups in a row, Poland was operating at the very top of world football. Same core of players carrying it. That's not a fluke. That's a proper generation. And they weren't done yet. Poland in 1982 in Spain. 8 years after that famous third place, Poland did it again. Mlynarczyk in goal, Żmuda still in defense, Lato still around, and Sarmak still around too. But the new star wasn't a kid anymore. It was Boniek, fully formed. Probably the best Polish footballer of all time after Lewandowski. In the group stage, they drew 0-0 with Italy, drew 0-0 with Cameroon, then thrashed Peru 5-1. In the second group stage, they faced Belgium and the Soviet Union. The Belgium game is the one to remember. Bonik scored a complete hat-trick header chip volley. 3-0. A goalless draw with the Soviets sent them into the semifinal. In the semi, they ran into Italy again, but Bonik was suspended. Without him, Poland had no edge. Paolo Rossi scored twice. 2-0. Italy went on to win the whole thing. In the third-place match, Poland beat the France of Platini, Gares, and Tigana 3-2. 2 third places in 3 World Cups. A top 8 finish in the one in between. Same core of players the entire time. If that's not a golden generation, I don't know what is. Next World Cup, Mexico 1986 has 2 real candidates. There's another team I could put here, Denmark. The famous Danish dynamite of Laudrup, Elcher, Lerby. They went into Mexico unbeaten, won their group ahead of West Germany, beat Uruguay 6-1. And then they ran into Spain in the round of 16 and Butragueño scored 4 goals. 5-1. The aura gone in 90 minutes. So the actual underrated team of 1986. Belgium. This Belgium side had Faf in goal, one of the best keepers in the world at the time. Giroux at the back, Vercauteren and the young Enzo Sifo running the midfield. Up front, Sulemans, Claesen, and Vandenberg. They struggled in the group, finishing third behind Mexico and Paraguay. But once the knockout started, they came alive. They beat the Soviet Union 4-3 in extra time, a genuinely incredible football match. Then they knocked Spain out on penalties. In the semis, they ran into Maradona's Argentina. Maradona scored 2 of the most beautiful goals you'll ever see. 2-0. France edged them 4-2 in extra time in the third-place match. A 4th-place finish at a World Cup quietly, while Maradona was busy being the best footballer in the world. Now, Italia 90. Germany lifted the trophy. The summer that also gave us Roger Milla, the Higuita moment, and one of the greatest underdog runs in football history. But this isn't a sentimental generic story. Cameroon were a serious football team. Thomas Nkono in goal, proper big game keeper. Steven Tata captaining. Koundé and Massing leading a backline that absolutely hit everything. McConaughey in midfield. Oman Biak up front. And off the bench, the 38-year-old Roger Milla, who changed games the moment he stepped on. They opened by beating reigning champions, Maradona's Argentina 1-0. Beat Romania 2-1 with 2 Milla goals off the bench. Lost 4-0 to the Soviets, but still finished first in the group, ahead of Argentina. In the round of 16, they knocked out Colombia, which had Valderrama, Higuita, a serious generation of its own, 2-1 in extra time. In the quarterfinals, they led England 2-1 with 20 minutes to play. Got pegged back by 2 Lanker penalties. Lost 3-2 in extra time. They were the first African team to make it to a World Cup quarterfinal. Everybody remembers the big moments, but not enough people remember how strong and memorable that team actually was. Well, now USA 94. Brazil beat Italy on penalties in the final. Ask anyone for the underrated team of that tournament and they'll say Romania, because of Hagi, or Bulgaria, because of Stoichkov. Both valid answers, right? But the team that finished above both of them was Sweden, and nobody talks about that. Tommy Svensson side, Thomas Ravelli in goal, that unmistakable beard, that personality. Patrick Anderson and Björklund at the back. Mild and Thurn shielding the defense. Brolin pulling the strings on the left, one of the most creative players in the world that summer. Up top, Kenneth Anderson and Martin Dahlin. And off the bench, a young Henrik Larsson. In the group stage, they drew 2-2 with Cameroon, beat Russia 3-1. Drew 1-1 with Brazil, Romario scored, Kenneth Anderson equalized. Round of 16 thrashed Saudi Arabia 3-1. Quarterfinals against Hagi's Romania, 2-2 after extra time, Sweden won on penalties, Ravelli saving twice. Semifinal, Brazil again, where they lost 1-0. Romario again. And in the third place match, they dismantled Bulgaria 4-0. Brolin, Mild, Larsson, Kenneth Anderson, all on the score sheet. Third place behind only Brazil and Italy. Ahead of every Romanian and Bulgarian football still talks about today. Now France 98. Croatia were the headline of that tournament. Schuker winning the Golden Boot, the team finishing third, 3-0 in the quarters against Germany. Genuinely brilliant. But Croatia get talked about. There's no shortage of love for that side. The team that doesn't. Paraguay. This was Paulo Cesar Carpigiani's side. Jose Luis Chilavert in goal. The most aggressive, charismatic goalkeeper of his generation, and a man who scored more career goals than most strikers. Arce on the right flank. Gamarra and Ayala leading the backline. Gamarra at the time was one of the best central defenders in the world. Cardozo and Benitez up front. In the group stage, they drew 0-0 with Bulgaria, drew 0-0 with Spain, the Spain of Raúl, Hierro, Morientes, and shut them out completely. Then they beat Nigeria 3-1 to qualify. In the round of 16, they ran into the hosts, France, took them all the way to extra time. Goalless deep into the second half until the 113th minute, when Laurent Blanc scored. The first golden goal in World Cup history. Paraguay were knocked out, but look at the numbers. With Chilavert in goal and Gamarra at the back, they conceded only 2 goals in 4 games. One of those was a golden goal in extra time against the eventual world champions. That's not the record of a team people should forget. But Paraguay weren't one, and history barely noticed. Okay, now Korea-Japan 2002. Brazil won, Ronaldo got his redemption, and the headlines belong to 2 teams everyone remembers: South Korea, the host nation that finished 4th, and Senegal, who beat France in the opener and reached the quarters. But the team that finished above both of them, and somehow only football fanatics still talk about, was Turkey. This was Şenol Güneş's side. Rishti Rechber in goal, one of the most distinctive keepers of his era, the Black War paint, the diving saves. Bülent Korkmaz and Alpay at the back. Tugay Emre, Baştürk in midfield. Hasan Şaş on the left. And up front, the great Hakan Şükür. In the group stage, they lost 2-1 to Brazil in the opener, Şaş scoring before a controversial penalty went Brazil's way. Drew 1-1 with Costa Rica, beat China 3-0. Second in the group. Round of 16, 1-0 over Japan, Davila scoring with a header. Quarters, 1-0 over Senegal in extra time, Manses with a golden goal. Semifinal, 1-0 to Brazil again, Ronaldo goal. In the third place match against South Korea, Hakan Şükür scored the fastest goal in World Cup history, 11 seconds in. Manses added 2 more. 3-2, bronze medal. 7 games, 4 wins, 2 losses, both to the team that won the whole tournament. The football world remembered Senegal. It remembered Korea. But the Turkish national team isn't always remembered. Next is Germany 2006. Italy beat France on penalties in the final, and Zidane's headbutt became the lasting image of the tournament. And the most underrated team from that World Cup, Portugal. This was the only World Cup that brought together 2 complete generations of Portuguese football. Luis Figo, 33 years old, in his final major tournament. Cristiano Ronaldo, 21, in only his first. Same starting 11. Luis Felipe Scolari's side. Ricardo in goal, brilliant in big moments. Ricardo Carvalho and Fernando Mera at the back, managed shielding the defense. Deco and Rui Costa orchestrating alongside Figo. Cristiano Ronaldo on the left. Paulita up top. They won every group game. 1-0 over Angola, 2-0 over Iran, 2-1 over Mexico. In the round of 16, 1-0 over the Netherlands in the famous Battle of Nuremberg. 20 cards in a single match, Maniche again. Then quarterfinals against England. Rooney sent off. Ricardo saved 3 penalties in the shootout. Portugal won 3-1. Cristiano Ronaldo at 21 scored the decisive one. Semifinal lost to France 1-0, Zidane on the spot. Third place match, Germany at home, 3-1. Figo's farewell to World Cup football. Then in the third place match against Germany on German soil, Portugal lost 3-1. It was Figo's farewell to World Cup football. A semifinal at a World Cup. Figo, Deco, Maniche, Ricardo Carvalho, Pauleta, and a kid named Cristiano Ronaldo on the wing. And honestly, people still don't give that team enough credit. Let's now talk about South Africa 2010. Spain won their first World Cup, Iniesta scoring in extra time against the Netherlands. Then there's Uruguay. You remember the handball. You remember Forlan's golden ball. But the actual team, the campaign, the structure, the whole story gets quietly buried under those moments. Oscar Tabarez's side. Muslera in goal. Lugano, Godin, Cáceres at the back, and Godin would become one of the best central defenders in the world over the next decade. Diego Perez in midfield. Up front, an absurd trio of Forlan, Luis Suarez, and Edinson Cavani. In the group stage, they drew 0-0 with France. Beat South Africa 3-0, Forlan scoring twice. Beat Mexico 1-0. Topped the group without conceding a goal. Round of 16, 2-1 over South Korea, Suarez twice. The Ghana quarterfinal, handball, missed penalty. Forlan equalizing from a free kick. Muslera saving 2 in the shootout, Loco Abreu chipping the winner. That was insane. Semifinal 3-2 to a brilliant Netherlands. Third place match 3-2 to Germany. Forlan hit the bar in the last minute. Fourth place at a World Cup. The Golden Ball winner. 2 future world-class forwards in Suarez and Cavani. A defensive spine that would define South American football for a decade. People remember the handball, but they forget the team. Brazil 2014. Germany won the trophy with that absurd 7-1 against the hosts. Costa Rica were the great underdog story, topping a group with Italy, Uruguay, and England. And Chile knocked out reigning champions Spain in the group stage. And Colombia finished above them all. The Colombia squad? Well, Ospina in goal. Yapes captain alongside Zapata at the back. Carlos Sanchez and Aguilar doing the dirty work. Cuadrado flying down the right. Jackson Martinez and Gutierrez up top. And the breakout star of the tournament, Rames Rodriguez. What people forget is that Radamel Falcao, Colombia star striker, was injured before the tournament and missed everything. Colombia played the entire World Cup without their best forward. Well, they opened by beating Greece 3-0, beat the Ivory Coast 2-1, beat Japan 4-1, topped the group 3 wins from 3. In the round of 16, 2-0 over Uruguay in an awesome match, and Rames scored what would win the Puskás Award. Dropped the ball on his chest, turned, volley from outside the box. Top corner. Then quarterfinals against Brazil, lost 2-1 in a brutal physical match. David Luiz free kick goal and stuff. Rames converted a penalty. And Zúñiga caught Neymar in the back and ended his tournament. Rames finished as top scorer of the World Cup with 6 goals. Colombia's best World Cup ever. Everyone remembers Rames, but nobody remembers Colombia, how really good that team was. Now, Russia 2018. France won the trophy with Mbappé, Griezmann, Pogba. Croatia were the story, Modric winning the Golden Ball after dragging that side to the final. But Belgium had the best World Cup of their entire history. People only look at that generation through the negatives. And that's exactly why I'm listing them as the most underrated national team of 2018. Roberto Martinez's side. Courtois is the goalkeeper, one of the best keepers in the world at the time. Company, Alderweireld, and Vertonghen at the back. Witsel and Fellaini holding. De Bruyne pulling the strings and Eden Hazard on the left. Romelu Lukaku up top. Just world-class players. In the group stage, they beat Panama 3-0, Tunisia 5-2, England 1-0. Won the group with 3 from 3. The round of 16 against Japan was wild. 2-0 down with 20 minutes left. Vertonghen with a freak header, Fellaini equalizing, Nacer Chadli winning it in stoppage time after a fast break from a Japanese corner. 3-2. Then quarterfinals, 2-1 over Brazil. The pinnacle. Maybe the greatest Belgium match of all time. They sat deep, hit on the counter, De Bruyne smashed in a screamer. The Brazil of Neymar, Coutinho, Marcelo, sent home in surgical fashion. And semifinal 1-0 to France. Third place match, 2-0 over England. Best World Cup in Belgian history. Best generation in Belgian history. Still underrated to this day because a lot of people still think that team wasn't really that good. Now the last one. Qatar 2022. Argentina won the trophy. Messi finally getting his crown. Morocco became the first African and Arab nation to reach a World Cup semifinal. The great story of the tournament. France made the final. Croatia finished third again. The most underrated team from that World Cup. Japan. Well, this was the lineup. Hajime Moriyasu's side. Itakura, Yoshida, and Tomiyasu at the back. Tomiyasu of Arsenal, by the way, a seriously underrated defender. Endo and Tanaka in midfield. Kamada, Kubo, and Ritsudon in attacking roles. Maeda up top. Matoma, Asano, and Minamino off the bench. No superstar, no golden ball candidate, complete collective. They were drawn in possibly the most difficult group at the World Cup. Germany, Spain, Costa Rica. In the opener, 1-0 down to Germany. Gundogan from the spot. Then Japan went into press and counter mode in the second half. Doan equalized. Asano scored a beauty off the bench. 2-1. First time Japan had ever beaten Germany. Next game, 1-0 to Costa Rica. Bad result and bad performance. The whole campaign is in danger. Then the Spain match. Morata early, Doan equalizing. Then Tanaka scored from a Matoma cross, and the ball looked like it had gone out before the cross. VIR took forever, then confirmed. 2-1. Top the group. That had never happened before. A team beating two former world champions in the same group stage. Spain finished second. Germany went home. That alone makes Japan's World Cup run worth talking about. But compared to the runs from Croatia, Morocco, France, and Argentina, it kind of got forgotten. Then round of 16, Croatia lost on penalties after Livakovic saved 3 Japanese spot kicks. The football world remembered Morocco. It remembered Messi. It quietly closed the book on the team that had just rewritten World Cup history. So there's the list. If you genuinely think a different team deserved one of those slots, or that I've completely missed the most underrated team of any of those years, drop it in the comments. I want to hear it. If this topic interested you, there's another video on the channel that goes even deeper into this. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.